Hello, Scrufftards, the occasional weird Vatnik, and you other strange people who roam the internet. Welcome to the War Zone. I'm Scruffy, and this is Scruffy Tales. Right, so we're back after 4 or 5 days with, real life stuff getting in the way. Annoying, but here we are, another video finally. And we will take a look at Kursk, where Ukraine is forcing Russia back, inch by inch, securing important territory. And we will also take a brief look at what is happening in Belgorod, because in Belgorod, Ukraine appears to have cut a vital supply line leading in to the Kharkiv Frontline. So let's take a look. So we're gonna start off at Veseloye. Not much in the form of updates. We know that Russia is trying to push in here at Novy Put, because this is where Ukraine pushed into Russia. This is where they breached minefields and dragon teeth at this small, I don't know what it is, a farm hidden here somewhere maybe. So this is where Russia is trying to push in and secure that breach. But we had a couple of days ago, a week ago, a Ukrainian vehicle pushing all the way up to the pig farm. I mean, that doesn't happen out of the blue. So obviously Ukraine has a presence over here. It's a bit unclear. We keep seeing the occasional drone strike in the area over here, it appears. And Ukraine also tried to push in this way a week or so ago. So it's kind of unclear what's going on over here at the moment. So I guess we should take everything in form of a map, especially mine, with a big pinch of salt. What else? Well, the big thing is over here in the middle of Kursk here, where we had Ukraine pushing into Novoivanovka, pushed into Solynishliak, and then they actually managed to push out this way into this area here. So you can see a couple of bits of woods, windbreaks, and it appears as if they launched that assault out of this patch of forest here. It's kind of interesting. We'll see if Ukraine can hold on to this territory. As you can see, it's wide open fields between these forward locations and the forest. So how Ukraine will supply and reinforce these positions, I mean, that's going to be difficult. But Russia is having similar issues with these woods here. As you can see, wide open spaces between these forward positions and the Russians holding Yubimovka and the forests. So, yeah, we'll see how this plays out. But to be honest, Ukraine has the ability, now that they have taken these areas here, they have sort of cut off the Russians in this area, and Ukraine could maybe attack from the north and from the west into these areas, and from here move on to either Yubimovka or perhaps more likely into the forests over here. Ukraine also has the option that from these forward positions move straight into the woods, and that is probably what we may see, because if Ukraine does this, Russia will have to concentrate on fighting here instead of over at Novoivanovka. A lot of resources will end up in this forest instead of the front line here at Novoivanovka and Solynishliak. So that might make it easier for Ukraine to push into these two settlements if Russia has to focus defending over here instead. Because if Russia loses the forest, then of course Ukraine may push on to Yubimovka from behind, for instance. So Russia has to defend these woods to defend Yubimovka, which will maybe draw attention, resources, manpower away from Novoivanovka and Solynishliak. So if Ukraine can push in here, then that might open up for them to secure this part of the front line. We'll see what happens. First of all, they need to establish a proper foothold and not lose these patches of woodlands. And we'll see if they can push out from there, either to, like I said, these forward positions that the Russians have, or this forest here. All in all, will provide Ukraine opportunity to grab Novoivanovka and Slinyshliak. So that's about it. Interesting push. I did not expect Ukraine to make this push due to the wide open fields, but they somehow made it happen anyway. I don't know if that tells us anything about what Russia has in place up here. If Ukraine could manage this assault, we'll see how it plays out, like I said. We also saw down here, this is kind of interesting, a week or two ago, Russia pushed into this intersection here and moved out to this windbreak, and also pushed down this way towards a factory and a gas station down here. Now Ukraine has pushed back, taken this intersection where you have roads and a railroad, and they secured that windbreak. And I mean, if they have this area, it's only a matter of time before they will push in this way as well, securing the windbreaks here, basically pushing Russia back to the positions Russia had some 1 or 2 weeks ago. And that's basically what I think has happened in Kursk of late. The two most important points to point out is, of course, the push into Novoivanovka, and then this push here into these woods that gives Ukraine the opportunity to either attack here or down here. Both of these positions will make it difficult for Russia to hold on to Novoivanovka. And that's that. And I also want to move down to Belgorod. This is just west of the Kharkiv front. I haven't mapped out the Kharkiv front yet. But Ukraine and Russia, they're fighting down here in Lyuboke. And here you have one of Russia's main supply lines leading into that front line. And it goes past this town here, Suravlevka. And Ukraine has pushed in towards this town. And depending on which map you want to look at, they may even have secured territory in the town itself. And as you can imagine, that disrupts Russian logistics into the Kharkiv front, or the western section of the Kharkiv front, which should affect fighting here between Lyuboke and Lukansky. This is a big hill right here. The road here follows the ridge basically of the hill, and these woods here are on the downward slope eastward along that hill. And so cutting the supplies here will affect the main fighting going on this big hill. So that's that. Yeah, Ukraine keeps pushing Russia back in Kursk. I did not expect that. I thought they would be on the defensive now that things had turned around and Russia was going to slowly push them back. But it appears as if Ukraine still has some fight in them, and they intend to gain territory in Kursk for as long as they have the manpower to do so, and launched a important counterattack north of Yubimovka. So we'll see how that plays out. Anyway, I hope you found it interesting. I hope I'll see you in the next one. As always, go på marsch, Ukraine, and give them hell.